101 Dalmatians. Roger was a musician. He lived in a flat with Pongo, his pet Dalmatian. One day, Roger got married to a lovely person called Anita, and she owned a beautiful lady Dalmatian called Perdita. Soon, Perdita was expecting her first litter of puppies. Life seemed perfect until one day, an old friend of Anita's, Cruella de Vil, came to visit. Perdita and Pongo were frightened of her. "Where are the puppies?" Cruella demanded. "Well, they're not expected for another 3 weeks," Anita replied. "You must let me know when they arrive. I just adore Dalmatian puppies. Their coats are so beautiful." And with that, Cruella swept out of the house in a flurry. 3 weeks later, Perdita and Pongo became the proud parents of 15 puppies. Roger, Anita, and Nanny the housekeeper were delighted. The very next day, Cruella returned. 15 puppies, she cried excitedly. "I'll buy all of them." "Oh, no, you won't," said Roger. "They're not for sale." "You fools! You will be sorry," Cruella cried, storming out of the house. One night, soon after, Cruella's henchmen, Horace and Jasper Baden, lay in wait to dog-nap the puppies. They sat in their van and waited for Roger and Anita to take Perdita and Pongo for their evening walk. Once the coast was clear, the Badens forced their way into the house. When Nanny tried to stop them, the Badens locked her in a broom cupboard. By the time Nanny managed to escape, the Badens were gone, and so were the puppies. The police immediately launched an investigation, but as the days went by, the puppies were still not found. At last, Pongo said to Perdita, "The humans aren't getting anywhere. We'll have to find the puppies ourselves." Pongo decided to try the twilight bark. This was the quickest way for dogs to send and receive news across the country. That evening, when the 2 Dalmatians were taken for their walk, Pongo barked the alert. 3 loud barks and a howl from the top of Primrose Hill. After a moment, an answering bark was heard. "It's the Great Dane at Hampstead," Pongo said to Perdita, and he barked out his message. Danny the Great Dane was very surprised by the message. 15 Dalmatian puppies have been stolen," he told a terrier friend. "The humans haven't been able to find them, so it's up to us to send out an all-dog alert with the twilight bark." Danny's big, deep voice began to send the news all over London. 2 mongrels heard the alert. One said, "I think we should let the rest of the country know." And so, within the hour, word had spread north, south, east and west, all over England. Before too long, the twilight bark reached an old sheepdog called the Colonel, who lived on a farm. Colonel's friends, a horse named Captain and a cat named Tibbs, listened too. They were all very surprised to hear that 15 puppies had been stolen. "That's funny," Tibbs said to Captain and Colonel. "I heard puppies barking over at the old de Vil house last night, but no one lives there now," said the Colonel. "We must go and see what's going on." So Colonel and Tibbs went quietly up to the house and peered through a broken window. Inside the house, Horace and Jasper Baden were eating supper and relaxing in front of the television. All round the room there were puppies. Not 15, nor even 50, but 99 of them. Colonel quickly returned to Captain's stable and loudly barked the good news. Within no time at all, the twilight bark sent the message all the way back to London that the puppies had been found. It finally reached the ears of Perdita and Pongo. They set off across the snowy countryside as fast as they could to rescue their puppies. Meanwhile, Tibbs was keeping watch on the house. When he saw Cruella drive up to the front door, he went to the broken window to hear what was happening. Cruella was ordering the Baddens to kill the puppies. "I want their skins for fur coats," she cried. "I'll be back first thing in the morning." With the warning hanging in the air, she turned and was gone. Tibbs was horrified. Fur coats from puppy skins? What a terrible thought! There wasn't a moment to lose. As soon as the Baddens began watching television again, Tibbs crept through the broken window and whispered to the nearest puppy, "Tell everyone they must escape. Cruella is after your coats." When all the puppies had been alerted, Tibbs led them to a hiding place. As soon as the Baddens discovered that the puppies had gone, they searched all over the house and eventually found them cowering under the stairs. Tibbs was in front, ready to protect them from the Baddens. Meanwhile, Colonel had met up with Perdita and Pongo and led them to the Deville house. They arrived just in the nick of time and quickly bounded into action. Perdita attacked Horace Badden while Pongo tore at Jasper Badden's trousers. Under cover of the fight, Tibbs led the puppies out of the house to the safety of Captain's stable. Leaving the Baddens in a heap on the floor, Perdita and Pongo dashed after the puppies. "Are our 15 all here?" asked Perdita anxiously. "You're 15, and a few more," replied Captain. "There are 99. 99, said Pongo, astonished. Whatever did Cruella want with 99 puppies? There was silence for a moment, and then one little puppy said, "She was going to make fur coats out of us." Perdita and Pongo looked at each other in horror. They had never heard of anything so evil. "We'll just have to take them all back to London with us," said Perdita. "I'm sure Roger and Anita will look after them." Perdita, Pongo and the puppies set off back to London, leaving a trail of paw prints in the snow. Cruella, who had returned for the puppies' coats, quickly spotted the paw prints, and the chase began. Eventually, after trudging across the cold countryside, Perdita and Pongo led the tired puppies to the shelter of a blacksmith's shop. Cruella and the Baddens were still on their trail, determined to catch them. Suddenly, Pongo had an idea. He made the puppies roll in some soot until they all looked like black Labradors. Under the cover of their disguise, the puppies climbed into a van that was going to London, but falling snowflakes began to wash away the soot. Cruella saw white patches appearing on the puppies' coats and realised that she had been tricked. "After them!" she shouted to the Baddens. Pongo just had time to leap onto the bumper of the van as it sped off, with Cruella and the Baddens right behind them. Cruella was determined to force the van off the road, but her car skidded out of control and hurtled down a steep hill into a snowdrift. Then the Baddens' van crashed into the back of Cruella's car, and they all ended up in a large pile of wreckage. Back in London and home at last, Roger, Anita and Nanny hugged the tired puppies. Then Nanny said, "Have you noticed there seems to be a lot more of them? Roger started to count. 14, 62, 94, and 5 over there. That's 101 Dalmatians, counting Perdita and Pongo. Whatever are we going to do with them all? Asked Anita. Why, we'll keep them, of course, said Roger. We'll buy a big house and have a Dalmatian plantation. And that is exactly what they did. The end.